We have a technical glitch we needed to fix. Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of the program Flip Side, yes, or the side of the news. And it's making news today that we are celebrating clean air for blue skies. It's an international observance. It's not a public holiday. No, don't stay at home. But the world is marking this day, doing something to ensure that the blue skies you see up there stay blue. And the basic reasons are for our health and even the growth of the world. We need good air to survive. I saw a video yesterday, it was a joke though, a comedy, one of those TikTok videos when someone was saying, if you leave me, I cannot survive. And they showed God responding to that statement in shock, like, really? Then water was responding to it like, seriously? Then the air, oxygen, responding like, you lie, and all of that. Like, these are the things you really cannot live without, not the next person. Then even the blood reacted as well, but that was a joke. Well, the air is very important. The United Nations has said about 7 million people die yearly from air pollution. And in 2019, there was a statistics that shocked the world that in Central Europe and Asia, about 4 million people died in 2019 alone because of overexposure to fine particles in the air. What are fine particles? How do we even know these things? And air pollution is a global problem. But developing countries are the most affected. And the most vulnerable in these developing countries are the elderly, children, and of course women. And I'm a woman. So today we are going to join a voice with the United Nations to talk about air pollution and what we can do to deal with it. I have a special guest with me, a professor who is from the University of Benindo. And we know they're on strike, but we brought him here. He's the director of Center of Excellence in Aquaculture and Food Technology. And I'm talking about none other than Professor Agbolagba Joel. Good to have you on Flipside today.
Thank you very much,
It's the first time. Yes, the pleasure is all mine. It took a lot to get him here. We've tried to bring him to the studio before, but it was very difficult, and I'm very glad to have him here today. Well, you know what? Before we get into our discussion proper, we'll go for a short break to get the message from the United Nations. They have several messages to mark the day. We'll just take one, and then we'll come and start our discussion.
Every breath we take keeps us alive, and every breath we take is killing us.
Every single year, air pollution kills more than 7 million people.
Air pollutants also cause global warming. And when people are exposed to air pollution and extreme heat, their risk of death is some 20% higher. On this third International Day of Clean Air for Blue Skies, I call on all countries to work together to combat air pollution.
Through this year's theme, The Air We Share, we call upon governments to invest in regional air quality programs and to put the full force of the law behind the cleaning of the air.
Let's invest more resources to expand clean and renewable energy and speed up technological innovation on the road to net zero.
We all share one atmosphere. Now we must work together to protect it.
All right, so when we talk about the environment, we are looking for public health analysts, we're looking for those who studied environmental biology, those in forestry, aquaculture, everything environment. So we have brought someone here. Professor Agbolagba, welcome once again.
Thank you again for having me in the program.
Yes. We're talking about air pollution. The UN says the theme for this year, Clean Air for Blue Skies, is the air we share. Because air pollution is actually a global problem and we all breathe in this thing called air. But what is air pollution? Because, when I was much younger, my entire idea of air pollution is you pass a place that smells, now that's air pollution. So let's break it down so everyone can understand if that is it or if it goes beyond that. So what is air pollution?
Well, To put it in a very simple way, the introduction of harmful gaseous materials or poisonous substances into the air is normally referred to as air pollution. You may not see it, you may not smell it,
Wow.
but it's there. Like what happened at Lake Inyos, you know, around between Cameroon and Nigeria, when there was a gaseous emission from the mountain and killed several persons. At times, before you get to smell the gaseous emission, you are already dead, because it causes a lot of pulmonary disorders. And so it's a very dangerous thing which we shouldn't play with at all. Our environment should be, the air should be clean as much as possible so that our health will not be impacted negatively.
Now, this one you said we may not see it, we may not smell it. I'm really scared. But then how can we ascertain the air quality? Like, okay, this is clean air, this is not. How then do we know?
There are equipment actually that are used in measuring the quality of the air, but usually the rule of the thumb is when you don't see organisms, you don't see animals and all that, you know that there is a problem somewhere. And even for human beings, you find out that once you find people either sneezing, coughing, twitching their eyes and all, you know there is a problem with the air or the quality of the air in the environment. You see a lot of people who are asthmatic, who react to even pollen.
From flowers.
The flowers, no, the air may not be polluted there, but they just react to it. But for other persons, you find out that they go on sneezing, they go on coughing, they are uncomfortable. Once you're uncomfortable, you know that something is wrong. And then you may not be able to see it, like I said, but there are people who are specialists in the environment who have materials for measuring the quality of the air.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
In my research, we seem to have a lot of problems in Asia when it comes to pollution.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring it down home. You know, the childhood explanation in social studies that talked about smelly environments as air pollution is still stuck in my brain.
Yeah, yeah.
So how would you ascertain the level of pollution? How would you judge? What level will you place it on a scale of 1 to 10 in Nigeria and Edo State, if you want to even narrow it down more specifically?
10 for the best quality?
Yes.
1, 0 for the
exactly.
least. Okay, for us here, we can say we are within 5, 6. We are not doing too well.
We're not doing
We are not doing too badly either. But the thing is this, you find out that a lot of persons in Edo State, we are usually very clean people, except when the season when you have maize and all that, then
the gutters are full.
gutters are filled up, and so you start having issues. You go to some areas in this country, when you, I don't want to mention names, but when you are walking on the street, the whole place is oozing. The gutters are there, they're not moving, green water, green algae everywhere, some black, and when it rains, it's terrible. So for us here, we are still, like I said, we are mid-range. We are mid-range. But we should not take that as a liberty to
do more damage.
We should try to improve the environment.
Interesting.
There was a time we were planting flowers. You know, during the time of Captain Kosifo, I remember that period. I think it was time of military administrator of Inyanga and so on, and Ubeha. They forced people to plant flowers and all, and that has increased, you know, the friendliness of the environment in Edo State generally, or the old Bende.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the dangers of air pollution. Now, you talked about people throwing maize around. They don't even know what they're doing. Because if you know that it's going to affect you, I don't think you do it or you continue, unless for those who are just selfish. Now, my neighbor, we hardly even have lights during the day. It's in the evenings they bring our lights, which I like. But during the day, she has like a business, a small business in the house, so she uses the generator a lot. Because there's a lot of information on television that the carbon monoxide comes from the gen and it can kill. She turns the direction of the soot from her store, and then it's directly facing my window. So she's saving herself, then putting me at a risk. But what are some of the dangers that could come from air pollution? What are these pollutants and the dangers, how it affects people, how it affects the environment? And it is a very large question. So as much as you can, begin to break it down so we understand.
Okay. Coming from the issue of the small gen, there's carbon, monoxide, like you said, which are very harmful. There are gases that you do not see that could, kill very fast. There's also hydrofluorocarbons, and there are also halogens. These are, substances that actually deplete the ozone layer, and then it allows, very dangerous rays, to penetrate and then cause disease both for humans and animals. They damage the ozone layer that is supposed to protect us from the harmful effect of the ultraviolet rays. And those ultraviolet rays are not good at all. So it affects both humans and man, and it causes a lot of problem. Then the issue of pollution that now from the air, when it rains, of course, it goes down into the water table. It goes into the soil, and it goes there. They are trapped on the ground. And so when people drill boreholes, you begin to take in polluted water.
Really?
Yes. And that's why you find out that many persons who don't bother to take their water for analysis, they drink raw water. We call it raw water. And they can be drinking themselves into perdition.
And to think of borehole water was the cleanest water in my head.
Oh, no, not really. Because you have places where there are dump sites. There is percolation from dump site down into the water table. And then people take it through boreholes, and it comes to the house. And so you find some persons consistently down with, typhoid fever. And they say, oh, what's the source of water? They say, oh, we drink from the borehole. Yes, you drink from the borehole, but did you treat the borehole water? It may just have the bacteria that causes, the typhoid. So a lot of persons don't know this, and then they just say, oh, we don't have rats, we don't have cockroaches in our house, but they are down with typhoid. It's coming from the polluted water they're taking that has been, contaminated on the ground. So these are things that could happen. And then also, where you have a lot of agricultural activities, there is also the use of fertilizers. Fertilizers release nitrates, ammonia, and so on into the soil. And then this can be washed down through the rivers, down to some areas, and then, of course, it goes down, and people take it again through boreholes and what have you. So these are some of the things that could happen. And so you have illnesses that are coming to people from taking in water that is supposedly clean, but not safe. Clean to the eyes, but not really clean, chemically. So these are some of the things that could happen. Interesting.
Clean,
yes,
but not safe. Okay.
So they always talk about reduce your carbon footprint. If you can reduce your carbon footprint, then you'll be safe.
How's that even workable?
Yes.
When we have urbanization is the in thing
yes,
in developing nations now. We have cars all over the roads with
Yes,
emission
cars
of
are
gases.
emitting gases. Most vehicles, you find, in fact, I do early morning walk on campus.
Okay.
And from there, I could just see the cars that need to get out of the road for repairs. They emit so much fumes, and during the Harmattan, it's trapped along as you are walking. You feel it. So the engines need to be in top form. People need to change their engine oil frequently, service their cars so that it will reduce the carbon emissions of their cars. And if we have all over the town, if you go to the ring road, go to New Benin, you just stay there a bit, you begin to notice that the air that you are breathing in is no longer as pure as where you are coming from. The other day I was just driving in, we went to town, and as we got into the campus, I just told my wife, I said, could you feel the difference in the freshness in the air? She said, yes. I said, so thank God we are having a lot of clean air here. So a lot of persons should plant trees,
Yes.
you know, plant flowers and all that, so that they would take in the carbon monoxide and then repair it for you and bring out carbon dioxide, I mean oxygen. And then you can breathe in fresh air, clean air, and you live better and longer.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Talking
Yes.
about clean air, I really did not know how polluted the air where I live was until I got married. My village is just to Selu here, so it's really not a village. It's even more busy than where I stay. So when I got married, my husband we had to go to the village for a ceremony that same, just a few weeks after the wedding. So that was my first time there. And when I got there, I just stepped down from the car and I could feel the air.
That's it.
And I'm like, this air is so crisp, it's so nice, it feels different.
Yes.
That was the first time I understood when people say, when you leave the city and go to the
Go to the village.
you will feel it. I could not really relate until I experienced it. I'm like, okay. The moment I came to Benin, I knew. I'm back home.
Yeah, but that's it. So when you talk about pristine environments, these are areas that have not been touched by urbanization or modernization. And when you are there, if you go to the forest, when you sit down in the forest for like 30 minutes, you will notice, you will understand what I'm talking about. And then if you leave that environment and come to Ring Road or go to Lagos, stay in Ojota or Oshodi, when Oshodi was really Oshodi, then you will know what we are talking about. Abuja is another good area now, though it's already being populated too. But you find out that when you are in a suburb in Abuja, you find out that you have very clean air, you're breathing in clean air, and everything is cool. You go to the country place, you are fine. Go to the villages, you eat fresh food, you breathe clean air, and you are better off. Okay.
Now let's talk about government actions. What would you suggest? You're a lecturer. People are constantly impacting knowledge. So let's tap from your wealth of information now. What suggestions would you give to the government on how they can improve air quality in Nigeria? At least we are at the middle where we can see it as half full, we can see it as half empty, but if we don't take care, we're always counted among countries that are doing poorly in almost everything. Education, poverty, food, security, we are there for the bad ones, the negative figures, so that we don't also join for air pollution. So what advice would you give? Because I'm seeing the cars are not reducing, more people are buying. I will soon buy more. I will soon buy again.
You will soon buy to add to the number. Yes. I think what the government should do, actually, they are quite simple. It's just that we don't have good leaders. They are not performing well. I'm sorry, but that is the gospel truth. If we have the mass transit system, you will reduce cars drastically. If we have trains or if we have trams, then people will move en masse. You drop your cars. You know, you drop your cars. And if I could come to Oluku with train, why should I drive down?
Yeah.
I just stop in front of the campus. There is a park there. We come up a bus. You bus down. And then that is one. Secondly, we need to have, public power supply. This idea of generators everywhere is not helping matters. So if we have power plant that is servicing this town, then the emission is just from one source, which can be controlled. When light goes off, every house or every flat has gen, and they put on their gen. Just imagine the carbon emission that comes out from 4 generators in a four flat apartment.
Yeah.
And some may even have 2 per yes, So if you have public power supply, then that is that. Then water. If you have public water supply, then it will be treated. People will not be sinking boreholes everywhere. And this issue of borehole thing, the problem is still going to come in future. We are taking water from the ground, and the water is supposed to be the stabilization factor in the earth. We are removing it at a very serious rate, and it's not sufficient water is not going down to refill the empty space that is created. When tectonic forces begin to play, that's where you begin to have earthquakes. Really? Tremors, yeah. We'll begin to have tremors. So it's a warning, an early warning. Those in geology will tell you. I'm not in geology, but I've read enough to know that once you keep taking things from somewhere, you are not putting some, you are causing a vacuum. Yeah. And that vacuum will generally be filled by something. So power supply needs to come. I mean, water supply. But River Dam is there. It's just flowing away, emptying into the sea. We are not using it. So the government needs to produce, supply water, supply electricity, and this problem will be half solved. Then people will be able to clean up their environment properly, and people need to also plant more flowers and trees in their environment so that we could also have more plants to take care of. We're talking about thunderstorm and all that. If you have enough trees, you also reduce the issue of windstorm.
Interesting. Okay, I still have a lot of questions, especially about this tree planting thing. All right, well, you know what? We'll go on a quick break. We'll have another message from the United Nations to mark this day. Okay. And it's talking about the damages to your lungs and for air pollution and all of that. And when we come back, we'll be concluding this discussion. So don't go away. We're still in the studio.
Air pollution, it lurks all around us, preying on the young and old. It slips unnoticed past your defenses and assaults your lungs, heart, and brain. Its deadliest weapons are invisible, poisonous particles that can be as small as a molecule. With every breath, they break through your lungs' protective barriers. There, they trigger inflammation as your system tries desperately to fight back. But these tiny intruders penetrate those defenses, lodging toxic compounds even deeper, sowing the seeds of cancer. They slide straight into your bloodstream, sabotaging your entire body. They inflame and constrict your blood vessels, increasing blood pressure until, one day, causing a stroke.
All right, it's still flip side, the other side of the news, and we're protecting our environment from pollutants. And it's these pollutants that are causing the air pollution. So what are they? Is it only the dirt you're dropping inside your gutters? Is it the dust that you're bringing out from your chairs or the Harmattan breeze? Is it the generators? What are they? There are so many things, so many. And I have Professor Abulagba in the studio with me, and we're talking about this. So I want to ask specifically, what are these pollutants we should look out for? We need to identify them and know how to desist from them.
Incidentally, pollutants actually come primarily from fossil fuels, first of all.
Okay.
Fossil fuels. And we are into fossil fuels in Nigeria and in many other places. So where you have fuel, diesel, petrol, gas, kerosene, they are all primary sources of pollution, and then pollutants. And then, well, the ones we could just talk about, we can name dangerous gases such as nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, and hydrocarbons that are produced when burning fossil fuels. So like I told you, if you don't want to have those pollutants, then don't use fossil fuels. And that's why we are talking about clean,
Electric
green
cars.
energy now. Because when you use solar, for instance, you are not going to have this problem of these pollutants. Then there are secondary pollutants, which we can also have from agricultural, activities, where they use fertilizers and so on. And you also have pesticides, you have herbicides, you have fungicides. These are all chemicals that are used in the agricultural environment or in farm businesses to make sure that either you use herbicides to take care of herbs, you use fungicides to take care of fungi, you use pesticides to take care of pests. So if you must produce, maximally, you must use those these herbicides, fungicides, and so on and so forth. And then what is the effect on the environment? That is where we are here. These are sources where we can have pollutants, because by the time they accumulate, they become another problem of their own. So they must be used in measured and approved quantities so that they don't constitute more problem than they are supposed to be solving.
Wahala.
That's it.
Interesting. This is a lot. Okay.
It's a lot.
Ozone layer depletion. Let me ask this one, because someone said that the use of, I heard someone on the show and talked about CFCs, fluorocarbon,
yes.
gases, and I asked what are some of these examples, because these are jaw-breaking chemicals that laymen like us do not understand. He said some of the fleets we use in our homes.
Aerosols, the gas coming out from the use of air conditioners.
Now.
Yes.
The weather is hot.
Yes, that's the thing. The weather is hot, but it's emitting something that goes to the air to deplete the ozone layer. So we must be careful how we use them. That's why we also advocate that people should plant trees and all. This will help to cool the environment, and you don't need these air conditioners for too long. Fridges, and that's why you see that the fridges that come now from Europe, they are differently made. They call them eco-friendly fridges and freezers. The old ones we had before were damaging the ozone layer very rapidly. So we need to be careful. We need to be careful.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. I saw some information online and said a country that has met all targets for clean air is Poland. And I said, okay, what are they doing? How are they doing it? What's so special about Poland? They said they have clean production incentives. So if you are following the rules, they give you incentives to encourage you
to do more. That's right.
They have a vehicle emission standard. They have a sulfur level in their diesel, and they don't go beyond it.
Yeah.
They have solid waste disposal, and cooking and heating in residential buildings, there's a standard for it. They also have sustainable agricultural practices. They have air quality management strategies. They have air quality monitoring and air quality standards. So
of all this, how
which
many
one
can
do we have?
Do we have?
Can we boast of?
Now, first of all, we are using mostly second-hand vehicles or third-hand vehicles from Europe.
Yeah, they're not fairly used.
They
They're
are
overused.
They're overused, and these are almost dead vehicles that come here, and then people start using them. We're not even talking about the ones that, if diesel engines, of course, you see trucks. The truck is going and it's emitting gas that you cannot even see the vehicle that is oncoming because of the thick smoke that comes out from that truck. And so that singular truck, the damage it's doing to the environment is incalculable. So we need to, the economy needs to be such that people will be able to fix their vehicles when it requires fixing. Because it is when it's emitting so much gases that goes to destroy the environment and so many other things. So if we're going to encourage persons to fix their vehicles, then the person must have fared well in the first place. You are talking about fixing vehicles when you have not yet fixed up. You yourself, you have not eaten enough food, you won't put money in your car. That is it. So look at the economies where these people have fixed their environment. The wherewithal. Excuse
Sorry.
me. Thank you.
Yes.
The health and well-being of the people there is very high.
Okay.
Excuse me.
I think we'll go on a break so that you
Yeah.
can get yourself. All right. We have a small documentary on Isabel You today, and we're focusing on bananas, and it's different from air pollution, but you know how we do. We do something totally different from our topic, and we just let you learn a thing or two. So we'll be back to conclude this discussion.
Okay.
Ripe, rich, and delicious, bananas are one of the most popular fruits that are easily available all year round. However, there are some Weight Watchers who will raise their eyebrows if they are asked to include it in their diet, because banana is rich in calories. They will soon know why this awesome fruit deserves to be loved and eaten. Bananas are exceptionally healthy as they provide numerous health benefits. It is a versatile fruit that contains many nutrients, including vitamins A, B, C, and E, along with minerals like potassium, zinc, iron, and manganese. Just as eating a banana helps in keeping your body in good health and great shape, application of this fruit on your hair and skin will help you keep them in great condition. Now, let's take a quick look at the benefits of banana. Banana gives instant surge of energy. It does this by converting the natural sugars in it into instant energy, and this is one of the reasons sportsmen consume it during intervals. Bananas can be eaten whole, as part of a salad, as a healthy beverage, or as an ingredient of a vegetable. It is a fruit made by God for one and all and for every age group to provide required energy throughout the day. Bananas does great miracles in our stomach. Banana enhances digestive ability because it is very rich in fructooligosaccharides, which acts as a friendly bacteria. It stimulates the production of enzymes that enables absorption of nutrients, thus enhancing the digestive ability. Also, certain substances in bananas stimulate the cells which make up the stomach lining. This enables production of a thicker protective mucous barrier against stomach acids, thereby combating stomach ulcers. At the same time, it relieves from constipation because the peptine found in bananas help to alleviate constipation and improves bowel functions as well as cure bile. Bananas are also a good source of potassium, calcium, and magnesium, which aid in maintaining normal blood pressure and are heart protective. The high potassium content promotes bone health, keeps the mental faculties vigilant, enhances brain power, and boosts learning abilities. Due to the high amount of potassium, it also reduces the occurrence of stroke. Bananas can also reduce the risk of various types of cancer, especially bowel cancer, because of the antioxidants and dietary fiber in it. Banana helps in regulating anemia as they contain high levels of iron, which helps regulate the hemoglobin levels in the body. The antacid substance in banana gives immense relief from heartburn as well. Beyond the health benefits, you can rub the inside of a banana peel on your leather shoes or handbags and polish with a dry cloth afterwards for a quick shine. Rub banana peel on your teeth for about 2 minutes every time you brush, and you'll be well on your way to having that pearly white teeth. It also gets rid of acne. Rub your acne with the white side of a banana peel, leave it on your face for some minutes, and then rinse. Well, are you craving the sweet stuff but don't have the time, the calories, or budgets to spare? Simply blend a well-frozen solid banana in a food processor or blender. You'll be surprised how much it tastes like soft served ice cream. You may need to add a little more cream or flour, honey or chocolate to obtain the consistency of thick cream of yogurt. I know you will never look at a banana the same way again after discovering the many health benefits and reasons to add them to your diet. Bananas combat depression, make you smarter, cure hangovers, relieve morning sickness, protect against kidney cancer, diabetes, osteoporosis, and blindness. They can cure the itch of a mosquito bite, fertilize your plants when they decay on the ground, and many more. So please, include a banana in your diet today for these and more. Your body is your responsibility. Please take good care of it.
All right, now we're back. It's Flipside. I'm Daisy Leo Asikidi, and I have Professor Abalagba Joel in the studio, and we've been talking about getting clean air for our blue skies. And we were at the point where we're concluding, and we were using Poland as a case study. It's doable because there's a country in the world that has done it. And so we're not talking about something that is an impossibility. Well, we're just going to wrap up the show. So your last words on all of this to individuals, to government, to everyone, because I think all hands, we need to be on deck to do this. Yes.
Yes. I think my words, advice to everyone is that we should take care of the environment as if it's our own, because the environment is the only place we've got. We are the visitors in the world. The environment has been in existence before we came. If you look at the history of the creation of the world, man was made after so many other things were created. So we are the last people to come into the earth. And if we do not take care of the earth will deal with us. So people should not throw away their trash cans. I mean, all the way you drink Coke from your bottle, from your can, and you just throw it out of the window. We should gather all these things and dispose them of properly. Secondly, when the season for maize comes, we should not remove the covering of the maize and just throw it in the gutters. The gutters will get blocked and there will be flooding. We should try as much as possible to service our vehicles so that the engines will be in prime condition and it will emit less fumes. Then the government, like I said, should supply power and water so that everyone is not sinking borehole. Thirdly, we are all not buying generators. Once we do that, we would have reduced so much emissions that we are creating. And then even the boreholes, you need big generators to power them. So if we have public water supply, you don't need gens to power boreholes. And so many other things and which we should do. And then I said, we should plant trees. We should plant flowers. If you don't have enough place to plant your flowers and other, you could have potted plants and put them there. They all do the same thing. Just water them and it does the same thing that the ones on the ordinary soil would do. So if we do all those things, we are good to go.
Interesting.
Yes.
That's a good one.
And then for state government, they should, the Ministry of Environment, I'm not saying what they are doing really. Their impact is not being felt. they should make sure that the environment is kept clean for everyone. Those who are packing dirt should do their work properly, and then residents should dispose of they should have please engage refuse bin disposers so that they will dispose their refuse instead of burying them or burning them. When you burn, you are causing so much problem in the environment. Have you ever noticed when somebody is burning refuse close to your residence and the fumes comes to your house?
Oh, it's
how
horrible.
choky it is?
It's horrible.
That's what it does to the environment. So they should dispose of their garbage properly so that we don't have to burn them.
Yeah.
Yes.
At this stage, we should be focusing our attention on recycling and making money from waste.
Yeah.
That's all nations that are developed are
Yeah, we
doing.
should recycle.
I mean,
In fact, you have to sort out the waste,
yes, to do
solid,
that.
you know, and all that, and dispose them properly, and then recycle. Those who come for cans will come for cans. Those who come for plastics will come for plastic, and all that. And you make money from it.
Yes.
And then the other ones that can decay can go into organic fertilizer. You use them as organic fertilizer.
Wahala.
Yeah.
You know, a country, a place like Dubai, Qatar, where that is a desert, they've been able to maximize their sand and make it a place for tourism.
Yeah.
And in a place like Nigeria, where we have it all,
Everything.
and we are still not able to capitalize on one sector apart from oil and gas, and to make money, even the oil, we're using it to even destroy our environment more. How much is fish in your market? Meanwhile, we were able to farm and get fishes from the river, even though we're not replenishing.
Yeah.
We're just taking. The culture of take, we need to break it and learn to give
To
back.
give back to the environment.
You're felling
yes.
trees that are even not mature, and you're not planting the trees. And even if
You're
you
not
plant, you know,
replanting.
it takes a lot of time for these trees to grow back.
30 years, 40 years.
Exactly. You're
Yeah.
not doing enough. We're not doing enough, and we need to begin to do more than enough. And the idea of giving incentives to people who do well, maintaining the environment, it will be a good one, even though we know corruption will still enter and family members will be getting these incentives. Well, let's look for ways to encourage our citizens to protect the environment. We don't have another environment to go to. We're not going to leave Earth and run to Mars.
No.
We are stuck here. So let's protect our environment. I know you join your voice to say we'll bring Professor Abulagba to this studio again. Maybe on a day when we're talking about food and waste management, we'll pull you down here. So let's advertise down that we're bringing you back. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
And I'm sure our viewers have had fun too and learned a whole lot. For those who missed out on any part of the show, there's a repeat broadcast on GoTV, Star Times, and TSTV. And you can also watch it on YouTube and Facebook as we upload the video. So 50 years from now, you can still get to watch this. Have a great day. We'll be back again next week, same time, 1:30, with another discussion on the other side of the news. Bye.